Alright, welcome back to the channel. Just 1 week after we took this 7% trade on GN, I've just closed out this trade for 10%. So I have the signal pop up on screen right here, so you guys know we actually took this one. But yeah, what a trade. So I'm going to break down the price action behind this, the reasons why it's valid. And this was a super A+ trade. The potential behind it was huge. And yeah, we'll get into that now. So the first thing, when I'm doing the analysis of this, I'll go through it in replay mode so you can see what I was seeing at the time of the position. First thing is, we had an initial supply zone here, which I didn't take. And it did give a valid entry, and it would have given a fake out. Now, the reason I didn't take this initial supply was due to the overall structure mostly being too early for the position. So the main factor behind this trade, and apart from the fact it was just clearly bearish here, nicely taking out lows consistently, we had the very strong factor of there being no weekly bottom wick. Now, what that means is, on a Monday especially, this trade was on a Monday, when a new week opens up, and you go to the weekly time frame, if the weekly candle has no bottom wick or top wick, it's highly likely that it's going to go and create one, right? If we look here, every single candle pretty much has a top wick and a bottom wick. So it's highly unlikely, even if it's small, that it's not going to create one. With that being said, when the markets opened up on Monday here, you can see this was the open, there's no bottom wick on the weekly. So obviously I can't do it now because it's past, but you can imagine if you go to the weekly time frame during this will be the weekly candle, it would have no bottom wick and it will just be pushed up here. That's a very strong confidence for us to look bearish for that move down here to create a bottom wick. So with that being said, we had those confidences aligning, apart from the fact we were just very clearly bearish overall, taking out lows consistently. We had that strong factor. So with that strong factor and the bearish movement, I still didn't take this initial trade. Reason being, it was technically valid because liquidity took out its own lows. Obviously our liquidity in front of the zone being this high that can be taken out before we tap into the zone, it was technically valid, but the lows over here didn't get taken out, and that's kind of what I would have wanted to see for a position this early. Market structure wise, when you're seeing something like this shape up where only internal lows have been taken out, not overall lows, it has to not be too early. And when we don't have a weekly bottom wick, you usually see at least one fake out to go and create it first, two fake outs before it ends up winning. So when I saw we had this top zone right here and we had one fake out that can come in right here in the markets, that's exactly what I was looking for. Patience always pays off. And so 1, 2, 3, ready to go. Triple taps and 3 is usually always the number you see. If I go back to this demand up here, exactly the same principle. What do we see? 1, 2, 3, it was ready to go. Triple tap. So always look out for that type of market structure. And that's exactly what we saw here with the 1, 2, and 3. When it taps our zone, that obviously ended up taking off. So what I was looking for here, apart from that, was just a standard close entry. Took out liquidity, faked out this supply zone, so anyone who took it would lose. Any stop losses above this high get wiped as soon as you tap into the zone. You'll also notice, reoccurring theme is a top zone. There's no other untapped zones above this, right? All these zones have candles coming back into them already, not untapped, so this one is the one we look to take. Very simply, I targeted a 1 to 10 on this because we had no weekly bottom wick, and also it's GN. So you'll notice on the last position, I also didn't have a TP1, 7%. On this one, I didn't have a TP1, 10%. The reason I do that is GN specific. From the backtest, GN on all winning positions tends to move in a very straight line very quickly. And so with that being said, the optimization I use when trading GN, when it lines up in terms of market structure, which it definitely does here, is just to not take TP1s. Now, you have to have the psychology to be able to hold through these positions. Same with any strategy, you'll have psychology that's more important in different variables. In ours, it's important to be able to handle being up a certain amount, having potential retracements, and still letting the trade play out. So that's exactly what we saw right here. We saw a large retracement when we were up about 7% before the trade hit the 10% TP. You have to be okay with this. Initially, this is not going to be easy, but for the best type of strategies, you're going to have the things in place to be able to actually trade them. So with that being said, this was a straight 10% position. This shows the importance of patience because when you're trading a strategy that can have wins like this, it's usually only a matter of time before they start to come back, or it comes around with another win and now you enter profit and now you're performing well. So patience always being the most important factor with trading. I think that's something very important that these last two trades can teach us. In the space of 1 week, you can just suddenly make 17% with the strategy. That's enough for anything, passing phase 1, phase 2, getting payouts in just 2 trades. So yeah, always making sure you stay in the game. If you don't have the psychology to stay in the game, you know, and in these in-between times, maybe there's no trade on GN for a month or so. If you blow your account by forcing trades within that position, you're not going to be able to take advantage when the actual trades come around that you should be taking advantage of. So that was this one with the simple TP 1 to 10, no weekly bottom wick. Simple entry as well, like it's a 30-minute time frame. You don't have to be rushing, you don't have to be doing complicated things. We just simply enter on the 30-minute close, which means at the time of this tapping, about 1 hour passes before we actually enter. Super easy, impossible to miss. Even if you do get the initial entry missed, it still stayed here, you know, for 2-3 hours, and you could have taken the entry. So everything there lined up for a very nice position. Just a quick breakdown on this one. If you guys are interested in joining the Discord where I send out these signals, I have the link in the description. And with that being said, that's it in this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.